Maailman paras kesäolut turmiokatinen diskoapa on nyt kaupoissa. Jos ei ole, niin sano, että soittaa Isokallan panimolle.
Hi guys, I'm Tomas with Meshuggah, and you're watching Chaos TV.
Okay, so what's up everyone? Day number 3 here at Provincia, and today we have the pleasure to talk with Tomas from the band Meshuggah. So first off, hello and welcome to Seinäjoki and welcome to Chaos TV as well.
Thank you. I'm actually I'm watching people swim over there, and I have no clue how they can do that. To me, this is really cold.
Yeah, it's a bit too cold for swimming.
For the middle of the summer, and as much people are swimming over there, I guess they're typically Finnish style drunk.
Yeah, they are probably drunk.
Yeah. Well, that's how you do it, I guess.
So yesterday you played a show at Tuska Open Air. So how did the gig go?
No, the gig was good. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's something that can happen at any band anywhere. But apart from that, it was a great show, great crowd. We had a good time, yeah.
So in general, how has the summer been for you and the band?
The summer's been really good. We toured pretty much all of June, so we've been all over Europe. And it got kind of a mix of club shows and festivals, and it's been really good. Yeah.
Okay. So I actually looked that you actually recently shared a post after Vinnie Paul's sudden death. So
yeah,
what were your actually thoughts when you heard about the whole thing?
Well, I was stunned at first. I mean, obviously he was way too young, only 54, I think, and. Yeah, it definitely came as a shock. I mean, I don't know him that well, but of course over the years we have run into each other and we have hung out and, had beers and talk about life and music and stuff. So it's definitely a sad loss and, what can you say? Too early, yeah.
So do you actually remember the times when you actually met him for the first time?
The first time that I actually met and hung out with him and like talked to him, that was in Australia. Probably in like 2008 or 9 or something like that. Yeah.
Did you actually do any tours with Vinnie, Hell Yeah or Pantera or?
Not really tours like that, but we have with Hell Yeah especially, of course, we have run into them and we played a lot of the same stages around the same time, at festivals and stuff like that. So we definitely ran into them a bunch of times, yeah.
So how big of an impact has actually Pantera been to you? Oh, music-wise.
Yeah, Pantera has been a huge impact for. I mean, you had those during the grunge years, if you want to call it that, like early '90s, where metal kind of just dipped down and there was not much going on. You had Metallica, of course, because they were always big, but other than Metallica, Pantera was the only band that kind of kept and just got stronger through those years, and. For us, like that's early on in our career, they had a huge impact, of course, definitely.
So what do you think that actually makes their music so special? Because a lot of musicians list them as an influence.
I don't know. I mean, they certainly had unique styles, unique style of drumming, unique guitar playing, unique vocals, best metal singer probably on the planet. So just the combination. Songwriting was excellent. It was extremely it was really brutal and kind of beat down music and had a little hints of hardcore, a little bit of older hard rock if you look at their early years and before Pantera and stuff. So I don't know. It was just a really cool mix that was also their productions were really kind of stood out. And everything was really clear. You could really hear everything.
Yeah.
Just a combination of all those things that made Pantera a great band.
So how much have you actually paid attention to the drumming itself as a drummer?
No, of course, that was one of the things that stood out early on too. He had some things that he did both with his feet and hands that were kind of a new thing, and that I think a whole generation of drummers kind of snapped up on and kind of started using a little bit, where you do 3 hits on 2 bass drums, and stuff like that. so signature, definitely like signature Vinnie Paul stuff, and I mean they basically shaped a whole generation of musicians for sure. Yeah, in metal, it's no doubt.
So how much do you actually listen to albums from the drummer's point of view? That what are the drummers actually doing, or do you usually listen to the music as the music itself?
Yeah, that kind of changes over time. When I was younger and maybe in my 20s, I listened maybe more to music where the drumming was really like kind of stood out or whatever, and in the band we listened a lot to like fusion jazz at that time, and also but bands like Pantera at the same time, and like for me like a band like Cynic out of Florida, their first album Focus was like in '93. I listened to that album almost daily, and that also had like a combination of jazz and metal drumming, you know. So of course, in that period, I did listen more, maybe from an instrumentalist point of view. Whereas nowadays, I don't really care about that anymore. If I listen to music now, when I listen to music, it's usually more like older stuff, like 60s and 70s, and like Southern rock, and you know, Leonard Skinner or Allman Brothers and stuff like that. I don't really listen to metal. Yeah.
So when you are actually off the road, how much do you actually rehearse your own playing? And do you actually rehearse it by playing Meshuggah song, or do you just rehearse on your weaknesses to try get better overall, or how does that work?
To be honest, I really don't practice to learn new things. And basically because I was never schooled, and I never really went to teachers, except when I was a little kid, and I hated it, you know. But so I never really learned how to learn. You know what I mean? Because it takes a certain like, how do you practice? Like what should I be going through? So the main practice for me that I get is when we have written new songs with a band, and you know you got to learn them. So that's like the main. That's the only times when I kind of get a little better as a drummer. For each album you have something a little new that you got to learn in the drumming. So those are kind of what the periods when I get any real practice, so to speak. If we have time off, I try nowadays to play. If I'm at home in Stockholm, I try to get a little bit playing in every day. But in all honesty, it's probably more like two times a week, maybe 3 times a week. And when I do sit at the kit, I don't really practice. I just kind of mess around on the kit. So it's not so much practicing, it's more just to kind of stay in touch with your instrument in a sense, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the end, a bit about the future plans of Meshuggah. What kind of actual plans do you guys have?
Well, now after this summer, we don't know for sure yet, but we're probably doing some South American shows in the fall, but that's probably it for the touring cycle for this album. Then we start writing a new album. So we're hoping to have a new album out in 2020, probably fall of 2020, but that's kind of what we're aiming at. We will probably pause the writing over next summer and maybe do a similar run that like we've done this year, like a month of compressed time, you know, so you don't like spend 3 months and do, you know, occasional shows. We try to kind of maximize like financially in what we do, and since we're now traveling with you know at least one truck with gear and stuff, it's better. It makes more financial sense as well to kind of get it all together in one chunk, you know. So most likely we'll do that next summer as well, and then get back to writing again.
But you don't actually write music when you are on the road?
No, we never did. Never wrote anything on the road. Okay. We're definitely one of those bands. We have to really like set time off for writing. Even if we have a show, we know we have a show coming up in 3 weeks, no one writes anything.
Okay.
Just because you know you have that thing there. It needs to be schedule cleared, you know. That's kind of, if we have like months and months of free time, that's kind of when people start like digging into writing and getting in that mode, you know.
Okay. So hey Thomas, thank you a lot for the interview and all the
My
best
pleasure,
for
sir.
tonight's show. Anything you want to say as last words to all the Finnish fans who will be watching this afterwards? Word is free and you can watch.
I'm really bad at last words, but for any and all, I know this is a mixed festival, but any and all you metal fans that are out here tonight and come see our show, I hope you dig it, and it'll be the last thing we do. So I guess cherish that in a sense, or I don't know. All right, take care, guys.
Thanks a lot for the chat.
Thanks, man.